about the music. Like, Tact and Destiny have found their way, and I guess and Anna, can't forget about Anna. They have found their way through and to Louisiana, which is like the heart of jazz. Some say that's where the jazz was created, right? Some say that's where it was created. That's where it was founded, originated at. So of course they're going to gravitate towards this because this is part of where they're going through as they're traveling eastward. But obviously too, so obviously twice, that's 3 times now. Sorry about that. Tact has a innate ability to be attracted to music because of just what he has. It's like everything that he embodies is about music, specifically the piano and classical music and jazz and just all the different art forms of music. He's just completely attracted to him. So much so that Destiny actually this episode gave him a lot of crap for it. Because they were talking and she was like, "Yo, the only thing on your mind, homeboy, is music." And she called him out, and even Anna was like, yeah, it's basically, she's not wrong. It's like all you think about. It's like who you are. You take away that, who is you? And I thought that was a pretty funny moment that they shared inside of the car this episode. But they find their way in Louisiana, and they split up, right? So Tact ends up going his way because he fell asleep in the car, took a nap, and then he kind of perused the town. And Anna and Destiny end up going to around the town to kind of like visit to get certain resources that they're going to need, to kind of continue their travels forward. Well, one very strange thing that happened within this town is that they found out that in this specific area, there was nothing but old folks. Like, all the people that lived there were, like, all old. Like, I mean, like, elderly. Like, probably from, like, late 40s to, like, elderly. And that's all that lived there. So there was a very high shortage of younger folks there. So they went and they rescued a cat. They fixed a lady's deck they had to go deliver items. They had to help a dude at his store because he threw out his back. Like, they had to go and run all these different tasks. And on their way back, they ended up coming across this lady who mistook Anna for her daughter. And they had to spend time with her because they basically got perused into it or coursed into it, I guess you could say. And they end up finding out later when the lady's husband gets home that their daughter had left home along with her newborn and her husband, and they had died in some in one of the different incidents that had occurred with the D2 stuff. And his wife hadn't gotten over that fact, and she still constantly thinks that her daughter Maria or Maria or whatever is out there somewhere. And it was just that was like a really tragic and really sad story within the anime this episode. Like, I wasn't expecting it. Like, when I was expecting that, like, oh, her daughter went off to school, her daughter left the house, they just lived somewhere else, and she just really misses her daughter. But it ended up being that she left, but she never came back because she died. And I thought that was really sad and really tragic, and definitely one of the more emotional scenes of the anime so far. So they end up, spending the day, and they understand the assignment, and they end up spending the day there. And then the lady falls asleep, and they bid farewell to the husband, and they finally make their way back to go and look for Tact. Destiny, because she shares a bond with him, she was like, "Oh, he's over there." And of course, Tact had stumbled his way onto a musical bar. And thankfully, he found people who knew of his dad and knew of his dad's music and knew of his family's music and had memories and had played music with him. And they shared memories of his dad being here in this city at one point. And basically everything that Tact needed at this point, he was able to get from meeting these people and from seeing these folks and listening to these stories and hearing that people don't think of his dad in a negative nature for this Boston incident that had occurred. People don't think that he's the cause of or his family's the cause of the lack of music within the world. And I think that was really powerful for him. Then he ends up playing music, and he has a strong satiation towards music and needing to be able to play it. So he's able to give a part of himself as he plays the music there. And at the end of it, he's able to share, again, a moment with one of the characters that he met there, who had played with his father at some point, and he gives him like some music sheets to take on the road with him. I don't know the significance of those music sheets yet, but I don't. They look blank to me, so I don't know if they were just something to where he could go and fill in, and that was cool for him, or if they have some more significance. I don't really know yet, to be honest, but I thought that was really cool. And then the episode ends off with one of the commander dudes of the Symphonica being very excited by hearing a report that Asahina's son, which is Tact, still being alive, and that he's like the savior, or he will be the savior or something. So we're definitely gonna find out more about who this dude is, what his heart on is with Tact, and what ends up coming from that. It's gonna be all very interesting. Overall, I mean, outside of that recap, I think this episode was very chill. I thought it was very genuine. And I think it's probably one of the better, even though nothing really happened. There was not one action scene. I guess if you count Tact's memory, but there wasn't really like an action scene this episode. And I still really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it more than a couple of the other episodes that did have some action. And I just kind of enjoyed the way that they conveyed the story that was going on, that they were in this town about. So I actually really liked that quite a bit. I think it's one of the better episodes. I enjoyed watching it. I only laughed like one time, but that emotional scene I feel like was really powerful enough to really carry the episode. And then with what happened between Destiny and Anna's adventures, I thought that was really cool. The Tact stuff and his obsession with music, I appreciate it, and I like learning more about him, but I could really care less about that kind of stuff. That's just my personal feels. But regardless, I really liked the episode. I think it was one of the better ones. I enjoyed this week's episode. Let me know what you guys thought about this week's episode down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys being here every week for a review. We'll be here next week for the next episode of TAKT'S Destiny, and I cannot wait to find out more about that new music art with the blue eyes and the blue eyeshadow. Oof, can't wait to find out more about her. I'll see you, friends, next week. Oh, go check out our reaction. It's right over here. All right, peace out, my friends.